Hi students, my name's Jack and today we're going to take a look at how to easily answer everybody's favourite topic, the true, false, not given. Let's take a look at what true, false, not given means. It's a very common question that we'll get on both IELTS and TOEFL. True means that the information that's given to you in the question matches with the passage text. False is the opposite, so the text will be contradicting what the statement is. And not given means we're not able to tell, we don't have the information to give them the answer. These can be quite tricky for a lot of students, but there's a really easy way to do it. All we need to do is to learn it. So the main idea is we turn the statement into a question. That's the first part. So we're going to turn it into a question that we can only answer with yes or no. Then we read the text to try to answer the question. Now the reason this is really helpful is it makes the job that we're trying to do a lot easier. It helps us differentiate between what's in the text and what's not. And it helps us spot contradictions. This means it's easy to establish if it's true, false, not given. I know it sounds tricky, but bear with me and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so let's take a look at this example. The statement that we're given is that London is the capital city of the UK. So we turn it into a question, is London the capital city of the UK? When we're reading the text, we're looking for the information that confirms that London is, or that it denies that London is. It says that London is not. Even though we know that London belongs to the UK and is the capital city, we can only go by the information in the text. We can't bring any external knowledge into this. We're also going to be very careful for the way they present the information. So we're looking not for the words maybe that are exact match, but paraphrases of London, capital city. So, we're looking to find out if London is the capital city of the UK. We turn it into a question, and we can only answer that with yes or no. If we look at the text at the bottom here, it says London, the capital city of the UK, is known for its history and culture. So because of that, we can answer yes to our question. Therefore, the answer is true. So let's try another. The statement says that the Amazon rainforest is in Africa. We turn it into a question. Is the Amazon rainforest in Africa? So in the next section, we're actually going to put this into practice with a real IELTS question. But here's some quick tips. Pay attention for details and look for the synonyms. They're probably not going to say the exact same information. They're going to put it a different way. Be objective. That means even if you know that London is the capital city of the United Kingdom, we can only base our information on what's mentioned in the text itself. We can't bring anything external. Practice. These can be tricky, even with this method. So it's really important you practice, not just the part ones, but look for them on the part 2 and part 3. Okay, so let's put this into practice with a task 1 academic text looking at the London Underground. So let's put into practice what we've learned. Our first question is, other countries had built underground railways before the Metropolitan line opened. So we turn that into a question we can only answer with yes or no. Did other countries build underground railways before the Metropolitan line opened? Now in this text, I'm going to be looking for Metropolitan line. It's got a capital M on it, which means it's going to stand out. I'm going to see it very easily. And I can see that in the first line. So if we read that, it says that the Metropolitan line, which opened on the 10th of January 1863, was the world's first underground railway. So the question we asked ourselves was, did other countries build underground railways before the Metropolitan line opened? And the answer to the question is no, they didn't. The Metropolitan line was the world's first. So the answer to this question would be false. The next sentence says that did more people than predicted travel on the Metropolitan line on the first day? That's the question we're asking. If we have a look, we see it on the first day and we're seeing some numbers of passengers. And we can tell that 40,000 passengers were carried between London, Paddington and Farringdon. But it doesn't mention anything about how many people they predicted. We don't know if they did predict that many or if they didn't. And because of that, the answer would be not given. So for this section, the question we have is the use of ventilation shafts failed to prevent pollution in the tunnels. We need to turn this into a question that we can answer with yes, no, or we don't know the answer. So if we have a look at that, how do we turn it into a question? We simply say, did the use of ventilation shafts fail to prevent pollution in the tunnels? Now, I don't want to read this large paragraph, so I'm just going to look for the words ventilation shafts. These are very difficult for the British Council IELTS to paraphrase. And we can see if we have a quick scan, have a look. And you should have found it in the last sentence. If we read that, it says, however, smoke and fumes remained a problem even though ventilation shafts were added to the tunnels. So we know that even though they did put these shafts in, there was still smoke and fumes which caused a problem. The answer to this question then is yes, and the answer would be true. So for this question, the words that stand out are cut and cover, because they've got those little inverted commas around them. We make it into a question. Was a different approach from the cut and cover technique required in London's central area? When we scan the text, we can see in the last sentence that the cut and cover method of construction was not an option in this part of the capital. The only alternative was to tunnel deep underground. So even though we know at this point that the cut and cover method wasn't used in this part of the capital, we don't know if that relates to London's central area. So we're just going to come back a little bit and we read that the problem was partly that the existing underground lines formed a circuit around the centre of London and extended to the suburbs, but did not cross the capital centre. So this means that the central area wasn't suitable for using the cut and cover, and therefore the answer is true. Now, we're going through these pretty quickly. So, have a look at this one. We've got 3 questions for this part of the text. So, the first question says, the windows on City and South London trains were at eye levels. What am I going to be looking for? Well, City and South London is going to stand out in the text, and we can see it's about halfway down the first paragraph. I'm going to be looking for windows. I can't see anything in the first paragraph, but the second says it has tiny windows. Notice how I'm not trying to read everything. I'm just scanning for the information we're looking for. So, were these windows at eye level? Well, it says that the windows were tiny and just below the roof, because it was thought that passengers would not want to look out the tunnel walls. The answer to our question, were they at eye level, is no. Therefore, the answer is false. The next question says that the City and London Railway was a financial success. So I'm looking for anything to do with financial success. Now, we can look at this text for the rest of the day and we'll find nothing about that. But we can see the words profit. If we look at that in full, it says, although the City and South London Railway was a great technical achievement, it did not make a profit. Therefore, the answer to the question, was it a financial success, was no. And our answer would be false. And our last question is that trains on the Twopenny Tube nearly always ran on time. I'm going to be looking for Twopenny Tube, that's right. And we'll see it at the bottom half of the second paragraph. The question that we're going to be asking: did the trains on the Twopenny Tube always run on time? And when we look at that, what do we find out? It says that the Twopenny Tube began operation using new locomotives. It was popular and they extended it. It doesn't say anything about them running on time. It doesn't say that they did run on time. It doesn't say that they did not run on time. So our answer is not given. Now, hopefully that sorted out a few of the problems you may be having with true, false, not given. If you need any more help, please reach out and get in touch. I'll leave my contact details and how to book a lesson with me in the description below. Until our next lesson, it was nice seeing you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.